they suffer. And just notice for my people up in Gaza and Ramallah, and it's free Palestine until it's backwards, motherfucker.
We gon' take the promised territory back from the oppressors. We employing every measure. We ain't letting up the pressure. Every rocket that you send sends another soul to heaven, sends you further into hell. Your damnation is forever. Set us free, Palestine. To Palestine is free. Cause Palestine is... and Palestine is me. It's a universal struggle for the freedom that we fight. They might cut their electricity, but never dim my light. Cause
that everyone knows it's time to take Palestine back this time. Ooh.
yes, sir.
That's hard. I love it, boys.
All right, man.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
We here.
Long time coming, man.
Yeah, man.
Damn, we've been talking about this for a minute, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, it's good to have you.
Couple
man,
months.
I'm glad to be here.
Return of the Mac.
Yes, sir. I had to, man. It was nice. I was a little confused coming in here, man, because like downstairs is a coffee shop,
Yeah.
but damn, it's some good coffee. This is actually an iced caramel latte with 2 shots of non-genocide. That's what it is, guys. Okay?
No star.
Sponsor.
It is delicious.
No bucks going to the star.
No bucks in our star.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, I did. That's a good.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
You know
good
what I'm
one.
saying? What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of the Habibi House podcast, the Arab American podcast. And today we have a very special guest, Eddy Mack.
I gave myself
Yes,
a drum
sir.
roll. Who gives themselves a drum roll?
Only
What the
Arabs.
hell?
Only Arabs. do
Only
that.
Arabs.
Yeah.
I should have got a tablet.
Right.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Rebecca,
It's Eddy Mack. Finally in the building.
What's up, man?
It's good to have you, man.
Glad to be here, man. It's been a long journey, man, but I'm glad to every time I come back to California, get some sunshine on me, you know what I mean? So I always feel good when I'm back here.
What's up with this jacket?
I just got this done. Yeah.
What? Tell me,
At
what's
Walmart.
going on?
No, I'm just playing with y'all. No,
The Palestinian flag?
yeah, I wanted to do the Palestinian flag on one side, just put it over my heart, right? And then I wanted to, I'm Jordanian, so...
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm Jordanian, so I wanted to keep that on this side, There's not really much of a difference between Jordanians and Palestinians. I've never seen a difference,
No,
to
no,
be honest with
I
you.
mean, look at the flag.
The
It's
triangle is just a little bigger.
Yeah, just the triangle, and we got a star, okay?
Yeah.
Not the other star. We got it's a different kind of star, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 sides on our star.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's funny, man. I grew up in Jordan for the most part.
What part?
Man.
Oh, nice. My family originated from Zerka.
Okay.
That's where they're
Oh,
original.
you will get you a G then.
Yeah, OG. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been there. That's the
right,
thing.
yeah.
Really?
I've never. Here's what the messed up part is.
Yeah.
Aside from the U.S., I've been to Canada.
Okay.
That doesn't count. To me,
Right,
it doesn't count.
right.
But I haven't been out of the U.S. yet. Like I
Oh,
really.
wow.
Damn,
Damn.
you got a passport.
No, I just got my passport. I just got it, dude.
I can get you one for a low price. My cousin looks like you.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. And then go to jail as soon as I get to the airport. I can't wait.
Oh, we can't see your eyes, bro.
Oh shit, hold on.
There we
They
go.
are.
All right,
This,
so you,
this is your camera right here.
That's
brother.
my camera.
Yes,
Hello.
Sir. Yes, sir. That's crazy. So you've never been to Zarga, but that's
No.
where your family's from. You've never been to Jordan. But
Yeah.
Never
you know,
been to
when the
Palestine.
Zarga's in your blood, that's in your blood.
Yeah,
bro.
I feel it. I feel my ancestors coursing through my DNA right now.
Real Zargawi in the building.
Yeah, man. So I do plan on visiting though. I really plan on visiting, and I know we're gonna do a lot of shows. I was actually charting in Jordan for about a good month, so I'm definitely gonna plan a show there.
So what's crazy is we were actually doing our metrics and we were pitching to sponsors. So our top city is Amman, and Jordan is our top country.
That's it. They love
more
us.
than the U.S.
Shout out my people.
Yeah, it's funny.
Shout out to our people, dog.
So
Listen, we want to do an intro for you, man. I had an intro prepared for you. We definitely got to set the scene, right? So I want to let y'all know, man, our guest today has become a viral sensation, taking social media by storm. You might have seen him on your TikTok or on Sean King's Instagram. You might have heard the song blasting out the cars at your local protest.
Yeah.
It's no secret that his new single, The Sound of War, has become an anthem in our Free Palestine movement. The kids love it. You love it. We love it.
I appreciate y'all.
How does it go again?
Know that everyone knows it's time to take Palestine back this
Yes,
time.
sir.
Hey,
And ladies and gentlemen, here to Free Palestine till it's backwards.
motherfucker.
Mack.
What up?
wait, what does that mean? Tell us backwards.
So that's like a pop culture term. So basically, it just means till it's the other way around.
It's a TikTok thing, right? Sorry.
Yeah, so like you know, in the Urban Dictionary, what it was used, it was just, people would usually say, "Free my boy till it's backwards." So basically, till it's backward is just till it's the other way around.
Till my boy's free.
Palestine.
Till he's free.
Till Palestine.
Free Palestine till it's free. You know what I mean? So that's what it translates to.
Yes,
and I'm glad we actually brought that up because that's one of my number one comments. I love the song, but what the hell is backwards, man? All right, well, here we go. This is gonna be the one I use from a lot of videos right there.
Clear it up, clear it up, clear the air.
And then from the river to the sea, the people always say that's genocidal or something, but it just means that you want the people to be free, right?
Yeah, I don't get what we ask for, like the liberation and freedom of our people, and we're called what? Like,
Literally.
it's
It's funny.
terrorists
It's
and-
funny how they flip it and make it about them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Why is everything got to be so anti-Semitic? What?
We're talking about
Like
us.
if my freedom threatens you, you're the problem.
You're the problem.
Not me. You know what
Anybody
I'm
who
saying?
says free Palestine or free anything is that. I mean, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like,
You see the Theo Von clip?
yeah, Theo.
Yeah.
If a country's asking to free us, there's a problem there, guys. You know what I mean?
He's like, hey man, I just feel like the people saying free.
They need the help.
Palestine. They're the ones that probably need to
we
be
in
free.
trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like, nobody's saying free Israel.
Yeah, nobody. No, they're free as ever. I'll tell you that.
Partying it up and everything.
Yeah.
But listen, it's a tragedy what happened, obviously, to them too. So we do show empathy, but man, this shit has been going on for way too long.
Yeah.
For way too long.
I mean, what? 75 years, man. This has been going on. But now, what's crazy about it is obviously it sucks it had to get to this point, right? But to see the younger generation, our generation, right? To see what we've done, we flipped the world upside down, you know? To those who feel like we're not doing enough, look what we've done. When you look at these protests, right? Yeah, it's a lot of Arabs, but how many African Americans, Asians, white,
Latinos.
Well,
Latino?
let's just put it this way: anybody who's ever been colonized,
Yeah.
that's who's on the side of
This
it.
is amazing what we've done.
Yeah.
You know, we've grouped together so strong, and we are, you know, we're taking over the streets at this point.
I mean, it's about humanity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I think if 20,000 Israelis were killed, we would say, yo, let's cease fire.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because I swear, because we're just human at the end of the day, right? If this was happening to Israel, we would.
Oh no,
Humanity's with
there would
whoever
be
needs it. You know what I mean?
All the world's powers would come to their rescue,
Exactly.
and that's what happened in World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other history lesson, but like
No, the
people
outrage
came,
is very selective.
Yeah.
yeah. But when people started to like realize what was happening in the Holocaust, people wanted to, save them.
Yeah.
Now that we are seeing that streamed in like 4K,
Yeah.
none of the world superpowers are coming.
That's
to the rescue.
what shocks me.
That's why all those journalists are so important. Shout out.
And they're killing them.
Yeah.
Montaz and
Shout out Sean
Bissan.
King, Ahmed all these guys. I mean, they're just killing it.
Khaled Beydoun.
Yeah. We need to
Amanda
get Sean King
Seals.
here. I'm gonna FaceTime him in a second on podcast. Let's see
That'd
if
be
he gets
sick.
on,
That'd be
right?
sick.
He'll
That'd be
get
sick.
on. But I'm talking about also the journalists that are on the ground in Gaza.
Oh, yeah.
that are being
Oh,
killed.
Motaz. I mean, those are the heroes.
I mean, I said this
Yeah.
to Talal. I think I said if one hair gets touched on any of those guys,
Yo.
the world will.
oh, we'll flip the world over.
I mean,
Don't touch
Completely.
Bissan.
And it's already feeling like we already feel like that because they've killed over 60,
yeah,
70
exactly.
journalists. But like obviously the ones that you see more often, if one of them gets injured or killed, like it's gonna be.
Allah yahmihum, man. Allah yahmihum. Because they already took Shireen Abu Aqla from us.
Yeah.
They sniped her. So I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Allah yahmihum, but nothing is out of reach for
They're
most people.
And I feel like Israel's targeting them too at this point. You know what I mean?
They've been killing journalists' families.
Yeah.
They've been targeting journalists' families as a coercion method.
Exactly.
You know they don't even let any foreign reporter in Gaza?
Without the
I actually
idea,
didn't have
without
no
the
idea
idea
about
of approval.
Right now, there is no foreign reporters allowed in Gaza. And when they did the ceasefire, Joe Biden, his office specifically stated, like publicly too, but like they think this shit doesn't get out. He said, we don't want, like, if the ceasefire is not good for us because journalists are going to be able to document the situation on the ground.
Exactly.
Like,
And because of them, that's what we responded to that, right? Because of those heroes that are on the ground there, we seen it. And it started an uproar, a global uproar.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But the thing is, you can't keep it down, man. Like the journalists are gonna find a way. they're fine. They have Turkish SIM cards. They have the way that they were charging. We are the most resilient people on the planet.
They're
man.
charging their phones with their cars and solar panels.
Solar panels, like those. It was just incredible to watch. Like as much as they want to silence the truth, they can't.
Yeah.
So
and even going back to like we said, if this was happening to Israel, like how we would feel, right? I mean, we all grew up in elementary school. Didn't you guys take a trip to the Holocaust museums or anything like that? I shed a tear when I seen what I seen. Definitely. You know what I mean? Like,
but here's the thing: when I was growing up, it was mandatory reading 3, 4, 5 books about the Holocaust.
Exactly.
But then when I actually got to college and beyond, I started reading about like the Armenian genocide and other atrocities. I was like, why didn't I ever hear about this stuff? You know what I mean? So it was definitely. There were some agendas being taught in school.
They show you what they want to show you,
right? Yeah. So
they don't show you what they don't want to show.
Right, and they deny it.
Deny what?
So,
They've been denying our genocide, bro.
Denying the Palestinian genocide, denying the Armenian genocide.
Which I don't know how you can at this point.
No, they literally would be like, "Oh, those numbers are from the Gaza officials, which are Hamas sponsored." So they're literally trying to deny our genocide. Like, why are we getting the same treatment?
I mean, you can't even say the word genocide or apartheid, or you'll get canceled. So
yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we're being gaslit about our own death. We're being denied. It's like the Holocaust deniers. We're getting denied our genocide now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
what's crazier is you got to think of the era we live in with technology, social media. Like, hey, they weren't broadcasting things back then the way we are today, and it's still being denied. Like, here it is, guys. You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
It's in your fucking face, bro. You see the kids with their faces torn out, their fucking limbs, decimated.
I just think that for everything that is told, it's being spun in a way that fits someone's agenda.
Yeah,
like, oh, this hospital was bombed.
Yeah, everything is our fault. Everything is.
There's always a reason. Like you see the people being stripped of their clothes.
Oh yeah,
what the hell? Scenes? I've seen so many. Like,
but I already know that they're going to be like, those are all Hamas members, but people are like,
but they're not.
These are some journalists, these are civilians.
One person screenshot it said, that's my uncle. Like they recognize
he owns a convenience store.
Exactly.
And going back on that, on how they call the teenagers that they have basically hostage, they call them prisoners. But on the Hamas side,
hostages.
Right. And you see the treatment that they receive. Yeah, it's all selective.
The mainstream media and the wording, like, Palestinians are killed, but Israelis are murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a psyop. You see it all the time. Like this. I mean, that's what propaganda is, right? You do those little things that in your subconscious, and it totally changes people's perception.
Have you seen the hostages being released, and they're like all like happy with their
the memes are crazy.
Bye,
bro.
Maya.
See you, brother. Hey,
like,
follow me on IG, dog.
We got a WhatsApp group. It's like camp.
It's so hard.
Is that Stockholm syndrome, or were they actually treating them good?
I think one guy was like, my mom's going to call your mom. I'm going to invite you over for men's theft later, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on, dude?
Gaza syndrome.
Okay, this episode is sponsored by the Habibi House merch.
Habibi House merch. Get the merch.
You got the hoodies. You got the Drake album cover. With
dude, I'm not, until that moment.
You didn't notice.
My bad. Until that moment, I just thought that was the Drake thing. And then I seen the hot on top. That's so sick.
Yes, sir. Dope, right?
That's so fire.
And in the back, too.
Let me see the back. Shout out Lil Pal. Come on, bro. Did you get it on camera? I'm looking at 12 screens over here. My bad. I'm sorry, guys.
You gotta ignore those.
This is the Drake lyric.
Yeah. No, that's sick.
He said that in his album.
Yep.
I peeped it as soon as he said. I'm like, I know my country when I hear that.
Yeah, and he did sign the petition originally for the ceasefire. Yeah. Right. Yeah. He presented.
No, Drake's been standing up for us, man. And
shout out Drake
for humanity, and then The Weeknd too. Shout out The Weeknd.
Oh yeah.
4 point something million
meals or something. Yeah.
Oh,
shout out
4
Abel.
million meals, like $2.5 million.
Something like that. It's getting all mixed up. Yeah.
Well,
Shout out Weeknd.
Shout out to The Weeknd.
I mean, so he's Ethiopian, right?
Yes.
So you know what they do to Ethiopian women in Israel?
No, I actually don't have it.
They've sterilized them without their consent.
Is that true?
100%.
Oh, they're very, very racist to the Ethiopian
Blacks
and Jewish
I
people.
mean, like Israel is a majorly racist state, and they
I mean, we've seen that.
Yeah.
Right.
We've seen
but
that.
Ethiopians in specific, So I know that the Weeknd's probably super salty about
he's
that.
behind, and you got to understand his team too. His team's Arab.
Sal.
They're all XO is Arab. Is so they're
Even
talking.
OVO is Oliver.
Yeah,
and Forty.
Oliver.
Man, we got the team behind our backs.
Come on,
man.
guys,
It's the
let's
winning
go.
Team.
And also like going back to the social media stuff, the propaganda machine of Israel was so good because the news that we got was just from the mainstream media, right? And they could shape it the way that they wanted to.
However they want. Yep.
But now everyone's got these.
You heard Nikki Haley, she's a presidential candidate. She wants to ban TikTok because she says that every 30 minutes that somebody watches TikTok, they become 17% more likely to be pro-Hamas.
Who's
and
making these
pro-terrorist.
statistics?
I read that.
Nikki Haley in the beginning of the Sound of War video was I had Nikki Haley on the screen.
Saying what?
Basically saying, just calling us terrorists and completely flipping the script. It was a brief scene, but I made sure to start with her.
Yeah, no,
This is what I always say: never trust somebody with two first names.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, bro? Is like
Eddy Mack. Tell me.
No, man. Wait, but it's Eddie Haddad.
Yeah.
Let's
His
put that
stage
out there.
name.
It
His
is Eddie
stage name.
Haddad.
His
but-
Haddad. Okay.
So wait, you and Rami Haddad.
Yeah, Rami Haddad from Michigan.
Well, from Michigan. He's one of my good friends.
Yeah, it's basically my cousin.
Basically your cousin.
Yeah, I grew up with him like a cousin. He's not like officially by blood, but
You got the same last
We're all
name though.
cousins.
Yeah, if you're
You know how many
Haddad,
Haddads I know though?
if you're Haddad, you're somewhere in my bloodline, somewhere. You know what I mean? But
I know a few Haddads myself from childhood.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge last name. But Rami, we go back since we were like 10. You know what I mean? Since we were
He does some of
kids.
your videos and stuff.
Yeah, he does
He's
a lot of my
very
videos.
talented. You got to give him a shout out. Shout out, Rami.
Shout out my cousin Rami Haddad.
It's Rami.
But yeah, like so now they can't control social media is impossible to control. So
The kids see it, man. The kids
Yeah.
see what's happening on TikTok.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that is they're trying to silence us so much, and it's just not working. And if anything, it's backfiring on them
Right.
because of how there's a list, that kind of stuff.
oh yeah, the calendar.
yeah, the calendar.
Abu Monday, Abu Tuesday.
The Dr.
Yeah.
Seuss books.
Yeah.
Sick.
So
But it's crazy too, like with her saying, watch TikTok, you become pro Hamas, like pro Palestine. They're not even allowing us to be pro ourselves anymore.
No.
If you support Palestine, you're
Yeah, they say pro-terrorist is what I see.
go
on
back
Fox
further.
now. Yeah.
Sympathizers.
it's a difference, bro. Pro Palestine and pro the political organization that's
Yeah.
running Gaza.
Today, when we posted a clip, it was Inez saying like, I don't want to be ethnically cleansed, or you can't ethnically cleanse me. One of the comments is like, you can't be ethnically cleansed. There is no Palestinian identity. Like that kind of like they're going even further than that.
Like they said, we don't even exist
That
at this
Palestinian,
point.
the Palestinian identity doesn't
never
even
existed.
exist. It's just Jordanian.
That's what
They're
they
basically
say.
just
I'm
saying,
not here.
Yeah.
They're like the most evil ex fucking girlfriend or some shit.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just like
narcissistic,
a
for sure.
gaslighting you.
I mean, the phrase that people, it's like you became what you most hated.
Yeah, exactly. How does that happen?
the oppressed
it's
becomes
insane.
the oppressor.
How did the song come about?
let's
Like
talk
when did
about
that come
Sound
about?
of War.
about
It's
the
actually a
music.
funny ass story. We know my boy Batata, Abu Batata.
Oh, yeah.
We grew up watching him on the YouTube. You know what I mean?
Potatoes.
The driving school and all that. So this guy's been one of my best friends. I mean,
Can somebody translate Abu Batata for this?
it means potato.
No,
Uncle
father.
Potato.
The father of potato.
father.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Father of potato.
I
But-
actually wasn't tapped into his earlier stuff. Like, what did he?
Yeah.
What did he use?
He's a comedian, right?
Comedian, yeah. He always did music on the side, right? But he always chased the comedy, which he's had a great career. But people didn't understand, like, the guy can spit too. You know what I mean? So he's always been one of my closest friends. He actually came out to visit with his wife to Texas, come visit me.
Well, that's where you're at, Texas.
Yeah, I'm currently in Austin, Texas. Nice. And there was nothing to it. This was not pre-planned. Nothing. He just came out. I wanted to see him. I didn't see him for about 2 years, So he comes out and it's like midnight, right? His wife's at the hotel, passed out. He's at my house. And we're in the backyard. And you know those moments where you're just kind of sitting with your boy. You're not really saying nothing. It's not awkward, but you guys are kind of just scrolling on your phones and stuff.
That's how we're just hanging out with this guy all the time.
Yeah. What? What?
Oh yeah.
So we're just hanging around in my backyard, sitting down, and it's silent, and we're just scrolling on our phone. It's like going back and forth, right? I'm hearing his phone, he's hearing my phone. It's just terror, screams, like
What day is this? Like October 9th or something?
Yeah. Because remember, I dropped it on the 13th, like almost immediately. So yeah, it was around that time.
Bro, do you hear that? He drops. Just kidding.
No, we
drops
always,
music.
we always make fun of Talal for
you can't say that anymore.
holding on to dropping stuff, but he's been dropping recently.
Yeah, no, you've been dropping.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, so you were scrolling Terror.
Yeah, Terror.
Also, the waiting paid off. So
Yeah. So we're back and forth, just hearing it back and forth. We didn't say a word. And I swear to you, we put our phones down at the same time. We kind of just stared off into the distance, right? And then I looked at him and I was like, we should make something for Palestine. He didn't say a word. He just got up. He just got up. He just stood up and walked to my studio. My studio's in my house.
Okay.
He just got up and walked on business.
Not
he
a
was,
word.
You know? So he goes in there. I swear to you, I made the beat in 10 minutes.
Oh, you made the beat too.
Yeah, 10, 11 minutes I produced it.
Nice. What do you use?
Logic, but I mean, there's a lot of different plugins, you know.
Splice, all that.
Yeah. So when we were in the studio, I heard that Arab kind of flute. You know what I mean? I was like, man, this can be powerful, right? So I started making it, and it's so funny because I said, we obviously live in like a TikTok trendy world, right? So to be like lethal, we have to make it a trend. I know it sounds stupid, especially for this kind of situation, but I said,
It's a soundbite.
it's a soundbite, right?
Yeah.
So I built the whole song around that
Palestine
soundbite
till
till
it's
it's backwards, motherfucker, right? So I built the whole song around that.
Like reverse engineered.
Yeah, the tempo, the BPM. I started with the BPM by going free Palestine till it's backwards, motherfucker. And that was how the whole song got created.
Nice.
Because I said from the beginning, that bar, right, the soundbite, can be used as a tool for everybody to quickly voice on who they stand with, right? Hey, free Palestine till it's backwards, boom. You obviously stand with Palestine, right?
Yeah.
So I built the whole thing around that.
Genius.
You have to know what people want to hear at that time.
Yeah. And it clearly worked.
Yeah, so I built the whole thing around that. Batata laid down his verse. I mean, he slaughtered it. And then he ended up going home. And the next following day, now, mind you, nobody's heard this song yet, except me and Batata, right?
So you guys finished it that night.
Just about. I did some touch-ups the next day.
The recording and
yeah, he had the flight out the next day. So I took him to the airport, and then I went back
So
to
you
the
had
studio.
you had hours to finish this.
Yeah.
You almost like had to do it that.
Yeah,
day.
I had to, right? So I finished it up, and I'm mixing it down, mastering and everything. My father walks in behind me, okay?
Yeah.
Now, my father's my biggest fan.
Oh, he
okay?
is?
I love my dad.
dope.
So I'm mixing it down, and he loves Arab instruments integrated with music, so he heard the flute and all that. So my father walks in behind me while I'm mixing, and he just got this look on his face. He's like, he's vibing out, right?
Yeah.
And, my dad's from Jordan, right?
Yeah.
So he's just
There you
like,
go.
yeah. So he's like, hey, man, blaze this shit again. And I'm like, well, I know I'm going back and forth through a couple songs, right? So I'm like, which one? He's like, it's a free Palestine till she back there, bitch, or something like this. And I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. So I ended up playing it again, and he was just like, play it again, play it again, play it again, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, you got to put this out for Palestine, right? And I'm like, I want to, but don't you think I'm going to get a little backlash? He's like, of course you are. He's like, but my father's a very wise man. He's like, but when all the bullshit subsides and all the fog clears, people are going to rally behind this. Because my father told me people are angry. They're going to get angrier. So they want to say, fuck you. They want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a non-cussing podcast, but we're going to have to...
We'll beep you if we need to.
This is never going to see the light.
Yeah. So he was like, people want to say, fuck you. People are angry right now.
When you say backlash, like, you mean from Palestinians or from Israelis?
Both, right?
Okay.
So obviously you're going to get the Israeli backlash. That's a given. So, but I was so at a point where I was just like, the tetes and ammos and jiddos are going to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but now, scrolling through all the thousands of videos on TikTok people made, it's a lot of tetes and ammos and they're saying it too.
Oh, because they're cussing, you were saying.
Yeah, because I'm cussing, right?
Right.
But
see,
at what point do they just go like, you know what, fuck it?
when the anger rises, right?
Yeah.
They don't care. They want to say that, So
You're kind of saying you're the guy that is saying what everyone wants to say.
yeah, so I'm the brand that of the Arab
Right.
American pop artist
Yeah.
that doesn't give a shit.
Rebellious.
yeah.
I'm rebellious. I go against the grain,
Black
and you got to
black sheep. Yeah.
But you gotta have people like me. You have
100%.
to. You know what I mean?
Push the envelope.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna say whatever I say, and that goes back to the other track. We'll get to that in a second, the other one. But yeah, that was really how the Sound of War started.
That's funny, bro. The story is dope. Like, it's cool to know how it just happened
Mm-hmm.
spontaneously. But on the cussing note, it's funny because, I did the open verse. Probably one of the first challenges, right?
Yeah, one of the first ones.
Probably one of the better ones.
I've seen some questionable ones. Yeah, for sure.
You're like, I remember you hit me. You're like, bro, please, nobody's doing fire shit.
Yeah, it was
in the
terrible.
beginning, but now
we got to
have
get
some-
that recorded though.
Let's do it.
We have to get it recorded.
In fact, we'll run it later at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Or we'll bring you by the studio in Pasadena.
That
Either
too,
or.
That too. But when I did the open verse, I put it out, right? And my aunt messaged me. She's like, Talal, take this down.
Yeah.
He's saying bad words. You shouldn't attribute bad words to this cause. So that's definitely a thing. I actually was going to ask you about it, like how you feel about that. But, growing up, obviously, as a rapper, you're going to cuss in your songs. And it's always been a battle between me and my mom. Like,
Yeah, of course.
how much do I want to please her and make sure she's good? And how much do I want to just do?
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do though. Sometimes.
But, I'm kind of landed in a place where it's like, all right, I'll try to keep it more clean as much as I can.
Yeah, of course. And
Like you said, you got to have that.
you gotta have some black sheep. You have to, right? And everybody got over it quick. Even my grandmother called me. She's like, I like this song, but I didn't know about this line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after now, she's like, free Palestine to this back with motherfucker, right? Like, she doesn't care.
I have a question though, because there's anger, like you said, there's anger behind it, and people, I guess, are right to be angry. But like, how do you take that anger and like make it productive? Because what is the next step? Yeah, everyone's angry about what's happening, but like, how are we gonna use that? How are you gonna use that anger and how
To
should
turn it into something productive.
Yeah.
So
I just what are we gonna what are you gonna do?
I think the best music that we all know comes from raw emotion, right? And it was such a raw anger because it was just fresh off of us watching those videos, right?
I mean, it's a rallying cry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
And we had to make it productive. We had to turn it into something productive, but it was very strategic, right? Starting from the beginning of the Free Palestine Till It's Backwards, right? That soundbite we knew would be productive on its own. And that's all we cared for. Luckily, the whole song was good, right? Because a lot of these TikTok songs you'll hear, you'll be like, oh, that was a great bar. You go listen to it. I'm like, oh, the rest of the song was absolutely garbage, right?
Right.
So,
And I will say the cool thing about that is that people, on TikTok, you can like mute the trending sound and like just use it to trend your own video.
Yeah.
So to answer Atif, you kind of, when you created that trending sound, people used it to do like their historical videos.
Yeah, they
you know
talked.
what I mean? So
But
they
because it would go viral.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So as it was going viral, people would use that to, further the truth and the information. So it wasn't all just, like angry rally, like hype. I mean, you had that at face value, but you also had the people using the trending sound
just to get more views and
exactly.
get that made me more happy than anything. You know what I mean? Is that
I used your sound for one of my videos and got like $1 million on it, You get paid off of that?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's monetized
Off of
for
the
sure.
TikTok views, yeah.
You trying to get your slice?
Yeah, I'll give you a slice, dog.
I just want a slice of
I'll
pizza.
call you a check.
Nah, we good.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it's cool. And then you dropped 2 other songs?
yeah. So going back to how we were kind of talking about, I'm getting a lot of love. Don't get me wrong, but you're always gonna get that shit too. And people were always saying like, I wish you would have kind of empathized more and this and that and.
Like been a bit more sentimental. Type.
Yeah,
Oh, hell no.
but I did. You know what I mean? So I put out a message to the world,
Yeah.
right? Where I kind of wanted to capture emotion, and I wanted to
You capture the anger and then you capture the sadness.
exactly
With the second track, right?
with the second track. So because everybody's kind of like we all go through. We all have this guilt when we're eating or we're going to buy clothes or we're looking on our phone and.
Survivor's guilt.
Right? Yeah, survivor's guilt. So I wanted to capture that piece, letting everybody know you're not alone.
Oh, you're talking about people like Arabs and Palestinians saying that
Yeah.
you wanted to be more, they wanted you to be more empathetic.
More
I thought
empathetic.
you were saying like the other side was saying.
No,
yeah,
no,
Yeah, like
no.
that's the hate and all.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
okay.
care about
yeah,
that
yeah.
side. We don't care.
That's why I said, oh, hell no.
But yeah, I just wanted to, show everybody, hey, you're not alone. I feel the same way as you. And I also wanted to shed more light on the situation. And that's why I went to the part of the song that was like, hey, are you even human anymore? You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I really wanted to capture.
Hey man, we got a special surprise for
Oh
you.
man,
Boy, Disaster in
that
the
boy
building.
Disaster in the motherfucking building. Don't battle rap me, please. I just started my career.
About to
End
diss
it.
Don't
everybody.
fucking end my career.
End the career.
We got a legend in the but now I
Hey,
feel
man.
like I took over the
Hey,
podcast
man.
now.
Come on.
We got a
Stop
legend
playing.
in the building, man. This is one of the best, not only Arab battle rappers, but best,
Period.
like you said, period. You know what I mean? This guy was ending careers.
Oh yeah.
What did he
Like,
say?
Before they even started.
Allah Khaliliak, man.
Now we got a
He
whole.
said, "I make your family chicken strips. Call that family bucket."
You call that's crazy.
Family
Yeah, I
bucket.
think it was against cannabis. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one to quote.
there's a lot of quotables there.
Give him another one. Give him another quotable, bro.
Yeah, just run some.
You got some,
You want me to give him a quote?
what's your favorite one?
Quote my own shit.
Like, what's one where you're like, man, I'm so proud
I had
of
that
this.
question though. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, like for me, it's the whole entire like everything that I did in the Iron Solomon battle. You know what I mean? Like when I battled Iron Solomon and the part I did about, growing up under the occupation and just, the part about Palestine and just the whole, it felt different than anything that I've ever done with anybody. I feel like my whole life, especially like a lot of us as expats who've been forced to like, we never asked to be born where we're at, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's a really crazy, what was I gonna say? It's just like it's a crazy world for us, just kind of like blending in and just always having to be like within the realms of hip hop here as Americans, as to like me battling people and be like your mom and your fucking and last week and and I heard you said this to Joe Schmo, you know what I'm saying? I was able to be my authentic self instead.
Yeah.
And it was for the first time I felt like even in that battle, because I had to mention things about his personal life and we were talking about shit that the battle scene could relate to. When I started dipping into that fucking content, bro, it just felt different. Saying
Yeah, because you know what
the way it was coming out, man.
Yeah, because what was I just telling you earlier with the Sound of War? It was raw emotion, right? So when you're talking about this subject that he's talking about, we've seen that raw emotion
This
come
guy's
out.
a master of
You know what I mean?
expressing his
Did you
emotions.
feel like it was maybe like an out of like when you're
It was
performing-
almost like
yeah.
like bro, there was a point like if you see it again, I started rapping in Arabic at one point, right? I didn't even write any of that. Like so it was just like fucking
wow.
off the top of the head. فلسطيني بضلكم تتعدوا علينا ما في مين يردون بس تجوا لعند and I was starting with that shit, right? But when I finished with that shit, when I ended it, I was like I the way I ended it was just I ended what I said and I was like السخت اللي عملك أخو شرموطة يا منتي. I said some shit on the ground, right? And I just like looked away. I just remember it was like a sense of relief getting that shit off my chest because
You thought your bad words were.
Yeah, thank God for this guy.
no,
Makes me look like a
no,
saint.
man. But yeah, like fucking.
Is that something you lean like? Were you always known kind of like as the guy with the temper?
Oh, being
yeah.
I think Middle Eastern, it runs in our veins.
Yeah,
you
we
know
all
what I
got
mean?
a temper.
Yeah.
I feel like because a lot of like I've always had an anger problem, and I've always had like again when I was younger, growing up in Lebanon and coming over here and trying to adjust, it was during the 9/11 shit.
That's the worst time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like the craziest experience for me ever. And I dealt with insane amount of racism that led to like my family getting sued because I fucking maimed somebody horrifically. Changed the way he looked forever type of shit. And like my life got fucked up and I didn't graduate from those schools. I didn't, like the average Arabic kid who just, has a degree or, he went to prom or he wore that little fucking cap on his head. Like I didn't do none of that shit. You know what I mean? I got my fucking diploma at home. You know what I mean? I wasn't allowed to be around kids.
Wow.
And it was just
So you got enough.
No, it was like the racism I dealt with, there's shit that I've never talked about. Like I almost got a terrorist threats fucking charge for simply getting beat the fuck up by an entire school. Like I went to this school that was like completely like it was Valencia High School. I'm gonna tell people what it was. It was a white supremacist school. You know what I mean? And I was on the bus and they were just saying wild shit. and this guy was just saying wild Arabic shit on the bus, and nobody knew I was on the bus, apparently. I got up and I fucked the guy up, and the whole entire bus fucked me up. Like, I'm talking about the girls, the boy. Like, there was nails in my eye. The whole bus ripped me apart.
Damn.
So, like, they threw me out onto the street like a fucking piece of gum.
What the
You know what I mean? And when they threw me out of the bus, I was like, man, I'm going to shoot all you motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah. That'll get you a charge. That'll do it.
Just out of anger, just saying shit.
Maybe it's not because I'm Arabic, but I just felt like, okay, first of all, like, I remember this, and I'm going to even call the fucking officer's name. You know what I mean? His name was Deputy Finn with 2 N's. So we already know what time it is. Like, he sat me down, bro, and he had a fucking problem with me. Like, he was just like, like, where did you grow up in Lebanon? We'll send you back. Like, you're a terrorist. Like, all this fucking insane shit. Like, we could really send you, like, and they raided my fucking house and fucking
Damn, for real?
went crazy on my
Holy
parents
shit.
and all this fucking crazy shit, and all the shit that I dealt with coming over here was just nuts. And
Yeah.
like, so I changed my name into Bobby. So Ana Ismi Bashir, bro.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
When I first came here, I didn't want to say my name. They made me not want to say my fucking name.
That's what they do, man. That's what they
Like,
do.
I swear to God, I don't know why the fuck I used an American name.
Damn.
I look back on that time and I'm shameful of it.
I think that's why my
Like-
parents probably named me Eddie, by the way.
Like,
They probably wanted
fucking-
to avoid some issues for me.
Well, no disrespect, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
No.
happy. I'm happy I have an Arabic name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Eddie's still an Arabic name. But
Yeah, it usually translates
but
to like Adnan or something, but it's not. You know.
it's
My
not
name's
Adam,
just
'cause
Eddie.
That's Adam, but like, it's still, there's,
Because you're a Christian.
I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but
It's different. Yeah, you guys.
How do you gotta get out of here?
Probably in the next few minutes.
regardless, my point was like, we dealt with a lot of that fucking crazy shit coming over here, and I had to like, kind of like, in a way, suppress that.
Yeah.
To be able to become part of the shit publicly and all this shit. And that's what I think the Western culture does and what they mean by integrating.
Yeah.
They want you to integrate as in like
Drop your identity.
completely and like don't even speak your fucking language. I happen to read and write Arabic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like, so like I'm not gonna forget that.
Right.
And that's what time it is
just
with me
wanna
because
say
I just feel like these type of things are like part of like what make
Hell yeah, you got to hang on
you
to
know
that
what I mean?
shit.
Like,
Can
so
you?
I'm an actor, and when I came to Hollywood, people were like, "Yo, you need to change your name. You need to change your name because you could pass as white, and they'll never even know."
like what kind of shit is that? Like,
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
I don't think people understand how traumatizing that is
crazy,
to
bro.
say to somebody
crazy.
so
Yeah.
nonchalantly.
Literally.
You should change your name, terrorist.
Pretend like
What?
you're not who you are, basically. Like,
People can't remember that.
Like, I mean, like, I can imagine what it's like, and I understand why anybody who's named Muhammad is gonna go by Mo.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even
You
Mike.
know what I mean?
Mike.
Like,
No, my
Yeah.
cousin Osama goes by Sam.
Oh, that's
see,
okay.
Osama.
That's different.
Because what did
No,
they do? Because what did they do? They completely took that name from us.
Right.
How did they do that?
Right.
By branding the craziest terrorist of all time, which is their creation, by the way. His name is Tim Osman. He's a CIA agent, completely an American, had a whole entire American family. His whole family got flown out during the 9/11 attacks, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, Osama bin Laden,
shit right
this is
here.
all real shit.
they
Osama
were-
bin Laden
yeah.
is not, he's a fake, fictitious Arabic character. He's not even Arabic. He
Wait,
doesn't-
wait, wait.
he's-
You're saying his name is Tim?
yeah. He's,
Wait, what are you,
you can look,
talking about?
this is
Breaking news.
no, this is breaking news. This is common
Time out,
knowledge.
time out.
Just look up, just hit Google,
Are you
put
talking
Tim
about,
Osman.
so the guy who you see, like the beard and all that, is not Osama bin Laden?
He's a regular person, bro.
He's
That,
like-
it's
you know
it's
he's-
a completely fictitious character
Hold on,
made
hold on,
up
hold on.
We're
for
definitely
the rest
getting
of the
shot
world.
after
Yeah, it's like the Iron Man movie.
Osama bin Laden's
What?
name is not
Iron Man
Tim
movie?
Osman.
100% his real name is Tim Osman.
Wait.
100%. The whole entire character's fake.
They're taking us out.
Yo, Jamie, look this shit up.
Look it up.
Tim Osman.
Just even type in Tim Osman, and you'll see like the whole entire
the
shit.
feds are gonna come to the door.
No, man, this is common knowledge. This
Not
is,
as common
this
as we
it is.
thought.
It
Don't
is.
tag
It's
me on
very common
Instagram.
knowledge. I promise you, it's known. This
Okay,
is not
well,
even like.
while you look that
nobody
up-
gives a fuck. This is known.
Second article.
This is known. The motherfucker's American, okay? Regardless,
Crazy.
whatever anybody wants
Well, I
to
know
say.
we knew that they were trained by the Americans.
He's
but the
literally a
CIA
creation of America. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
Like this guy's a creation, and for sure he didn't die. For sure, it's the same story as everyone
he's
else.
he's
Oh,
with Pac?
there's no body. Like, it's the same story every time. Billions of dollars, bro. There's no way he's dead. Just like Jeff Epstein is not dead, or any one of these guys. They're not fucking dead. They don't die.
Yo, we had a good run, guys.
This will be the last.
This is how you get the views that you're looking for.
This is how you get your career.
But
Anyways,
we got a whole episode with you, and we want to make sure to introduce you right and everything.
Yeah, let's talk about the one thing that we wanted to talk about before he goes.
Yes. So we want to talk about that, and then we'll wrap with Eddie, and then we'll bring you back. Just have you on the couch for a sec. But
he's
let's
only gonna
announce.
leave in like 10 minutes, so we just
But let's announce what the idea you had.
So real quick. I wanted to do a cipher, like a 6 or 7 man cipher with like a very raw beat and a very explosive lyrical showdown with a selective amount of people. Now, right at this point, we're looking for 3 or 4 more people. And at this point, we have myself, Eddie right here. You already know. And the man right here, Talal, you know what I mean? So we pretty much are going to kick it off, and we're going to have 3 other 4 people with us. And I was looking for even a Yemeni rapper, you know what I mean? Anyone hearing
mix
this?
it up, yeah, that'd be good.
There's certain people voices that I want. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And like, I'm trying to do like a couple of projects with a Yemeni rapper. So I'm looking for certain guys that are just, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
That understand what's going on, and they're ready to really like just get down on some real fucking hip hop
Real
shit. I'm
rap
talking about
shit.
bars and like, dog, we make it like some cold shit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We're not trying to put out digestible material. You know what I
nah.
mean? Like just straight
On some Tim
murder.
Osmond type
Yeah,
shit.
Tim Osmond.
We're gonna expose some shit.
Big Bin Laden, Tim Osmond shit. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all
Hell yeah,
continue, and I'm
bro.
gonna
Well,
come
listen,
back.
we're gonna call it out right now. So if anybody thinks that they qualify to be in the stature of the bars,
Yeah, message
right
any
here,
one of us.
Hit
You know
us.
what I mean?
hit us up.
Message any one of us. Hit me up, Mr. Disaster on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And we will send us whatever it is. We're probably already familiar with you. If we're not, you know what I mean? We'll get familiar.
Now, do they have to be in LA?
They don't gotta be in LA. They could be in California. They could be outside of the state. But if they're willing to travel, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah,
If they're
gotta
willing,
travel.
Got it.
If they're willing to travel and they're out of the state, obviously anything close by to California too. If you're in the area, and even on the East Coast, if you're willing to come out, and we're trying to do this right now in December before the holidays.
Bet.
So the quicker y'all hit us up, the better.
Bet.
You're 100%.
Y'all heard it here first. Eddie, let them know, man. Let them know.
Hey,
Hit
pull
us
up, man. Cypher, y'all. Listen, you got to be willing to travel. Okay, Cypher videos ain't a video here, and then a video in Lebanon, and a video in
Dearborn.
Miami, and then in Dearborn. Y'all got to be here.
I'm
okay?
sure there's some Yemenis in Dearborn. I might know some Yemenis in Dearborn.
Yeah, no, there's all. Yeah,
We just want to ask
And
you.
if you're watching, sorry, real quick, if you're watching and you know somebody, feel free to also vote for them, tag
yeah.
them,
Tag 'em.
and we'll review. Like I said, it has, like Disaster said, it has to be a specific type of lyrical, skill set.
just
Bars only.
whoever you tag, make sure they're good, guys. Please.
It's a reflection on you.
But
Okay,
so
I wanted to ask you
yeah,
a
go
question
ahead.
and get back into the questions before you got to go.
Okay.
You're Palestinian and Christian?
No, I'm Jordanian Christian.
You're Jordanian Christian, Palestinian roots?
Well, my grandmother and grandfather are from Gaza.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather actually built the roads in Gaza.
Really?
Like he was out there building the roads.
wow.
Yeah, way back then.
On your mom's or dad's side?
On my father's side. Yeah.
Oh, so you're originally from Gaza.
Well, so they were born in Jordan, but they lived there for 30 years in Gaza. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, the Haddad family is, I guess they are Jordanian.
Yeah, we're Jordanian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haddad. Yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, Lebanese too?
How does it feel being an Arab Christian and a lot of people don't even know you exist?
Oh yeah, so like, okay, you know what?
You know what I'm
It
trying to
took me
go
a
for.
second.
You know
I was
what
like,
I'm going
They
for.
don't know I exist.
No, like the Christian.
Did you hear my song, The
Christian
Sound of War?
Palestinians.
No, they think all Arabs are Muslims.
And that's another thing. Okay, going back on that, a lot of people are just kind of oblivious to Arabs in general, right? Okay, so I'll give you a quick backstory. When I first moved to Texas, okay, down yonder in Texas, okay, when I first went there, 8th grade, right? When I moved from Dearborn, Detroit. So imagine going from a predominantly Arab place to like, hey, how you doing, right?
Yeah.
So
Detroit to
even
Dallas.
like a lot of the white people, even in Texas, it's so crazy because growing up in America, and a majority of us have, I would assume, right? The way Arabs are portrayed in shows, movies, it's usually with terrorism behind it, right? So
I know that.
That's how we're groomed to watch it. And then like when you see the hatta, you're like, that's a terrorist hat, right?
Yeah.
No, it means olive trees and trade routes.
People get scared.
People get scared, and I'm like, that's how America groomed people to think.
Yeah.
So when I got to Texas, and it's majority Mexican and white, okay. When I was there, everybody was like speaking Spanish to me, and I'm like, hey, homeboy, hey Juan, I'm sorry. Listen,
It's like,
I mean, you can pass.
it's like the Mo Ammer thing. Have you seen that?
Francisco, relax.
Hey, Holmes,
hey, what
this
up?
guy's weird.
What up, fucker? You know
That
what I
was
mean?
the teacher.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey guys, I don't speak Spanish. They're like, what the fuck are you, fool? Right?
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm Arab, right? And even like the white girls around, the white girls would even be like, you mean like terrorist Arab? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
You're like,
You know what I
kind of, not exactly.
That's how they're groomed to believe. They think like it's okay. Like so you're like terrorist Arab. That is not a culture. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's what I had to deal with. You know.
crazy.
So and then on top of that, they all going back to what you said. They all assume you're Muslim, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, you know.
Check out the chain.
And I was always doing that on purpose too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't to like force it down people's throat that I'm Christian. It was to show that Christians are standing with Palestine. You know what I mean? That was a big thing.
Or
for
that
me.
we coexist. Like, here's the thing. Another thing is like, a lot of people that say, "Are you Muslim?" They'll be like, "No, I'm like." It's almost like an insult.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I mean?
that's what, like-
So I try when I'm also I grew up Christian. My dad's Christian. My mom's Muslim. So,
Halvesies.
yeah.
There you go.
But anyway, so basically, like, I would try to say it in a way that wasn't like, I'm not like, I don't want to be associated with being Muslim. I would just say, no, you know, I'm Christian. I'm from Lebanon. There are 40%, you know, Christians in Lebanon. At one point, actually, there was predominantly Christians in Lebanon, and some, you know, over history that changed. But yeah, so you try to say like we live together, we coexist.
So it's not you're not trying to remove yourself. Like, no, I'm not one of the Muslims.
But it was never like
I'm
that,
a
you know?
good guy.
People forget.
Fucked up, dude.
I feel like people forget that Jesus was literally born in Palestine.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's where
what I'm saying.
Christianity
Bethlehem?
was born.
Bethlehem?
Yeah, in Bethlehem.
They canceled Christmas this year in
In
Palestine.
Bethlehem, they did.
Dude, I don't even know how we could celebrate anything right now, man. It's just tough, man. It's
I
difficult.
mean, in his birthplace, they canceled Christmas. So
Yeah.
I can't see any joy. Like, it's crazy to
There's
me.
no joy.
I'll be walking my dogs and I'll see like the kids playing on the playground, and it's like my mind flashes to the.
I just gotta, you know,
Like the world has been gray, huh? Like the world's been gray around you.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, there's no
I'm watching these kids play, and then you just can't.
the kids are gray, man. They're like pulled out the rubble and shit.
I just man,
Yeah.
dude.
So
It's a tough.
if Jesus
situation.
was born today, he would be born
Oh, yeah.
under rubble.
Well, what I threaded, I guess. I said if Jesus was still alive, he would have died in that genocide.
Yeah.
And you know, people might take offense to that, but you know,
It is what it is.
but
Yeah.
no, I mean,
a couple
I-
more questions. Before
Yeah, I just
we,
I wanted, you know, obviously these are all great moments and things to talk about, but you know, a little bit more personal. Just your music journey. Like, how did that even start?
So music, I started at about 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
It was always a hobby at first. It's funny to say, I was a martial artist my whole life. My father was my instructor, so I had no choice. I was born into it.
What type of martial arts?
He did 11 different styles in his karate school. He was actually ranked 3 in America at one point, our school.
Karate Kid vibes.
Yeah, so I grew up into that. I grew up as a fighter, and you know, I thank God for it because it gave me a lot of discipline throughout my life too. Yeah, and then music was always on the side, and then I moved to Texas again, and then there was no martial arts in Texas. It was football, right? And I had a love for football.
We love Texas. We love American football.
Football.
And barbecue.
Don't give a piss about nothing but football.
I don't get pissed by nothing but the what do you say?
But the tide.
But the tide.
That's a risky thing.
So yeah,
But the tide.
Eyes fucking crossed.
that was one of my favorite videos.
You grew up in Texas. I grew up in Florida. Huge football states.
Yeah, football
I
states.
played also. So
Yeah. What position you play?
Linebacker.
Oh, I was defensive end. So we were best friends. We were always on the
I
same
mean,
page.
they had me stunting too as
Yeah.
a
Play
defensive
running back.
end. You know.
You wasn't playing no
Running
damn
back. Yeah, I
running
was
back.
playing
You was?
running
Oh
back.
shit!
Dang.
They tell me to go to the 2-hole, I go to the 4-hole and get a touchdown.
I'm going where I want to go.
Is that the person that catches the ball?
The B gap.
Well, this guy doesn't know anything about
I
football
play
or
football
baseball.
like the original football.
Is it football?
Not in football. Your foot on the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a running back. So
Why
he,
you
he
throw?
run.
Crumble, throw.
I used to be a goalkeeper, so I feel like I'd be the guy
you-
catching the ball.
Oh, I thought somebody. I thought Joe. I was like, what's up, Joe? I'm in the middle of a podcast. So going back to it, music was always the side hobby, right? So in Texas, I grew up around my group of friends. It was like a solid 6-7 of us, and they all made music, right? But the problem is that nobody knew how to engineer or produce. We just all wanted to be rappers, but we're a bunch of broke ass kids. We can't afford studio sessions, so I kind of took it under my responsibility to learn how to at least record us, right? Nobody else was doing it. So, I was ripping the little programs, downloading
Hold
shit.
on. Let me guess. Audacity?
Audacity,
LimeWire.
FL Studio.
Mixcraft, FL Studio.
Pirate Bay.
All, yeah,
Garage Band.
Your
Yeah.
computer just got like cancer the first
Yeah, that shit was inflamed.
So you started like
Yeah.
mixing for yourself and people, or just at least recording it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it mixing. It was pretty terrible.
Well, you're just leveling it and
Yeah,
whatever
you're
you know.
learning, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error. And a lot of people's issues was growing up, even with my friends, they were like, oh, we got to put this out. I'm like, don't put my name on it. You know? It's really bad, right?
Yeah.
So even at a young age, I knew, hey, I suck, right? At that age.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do or put out anything right now because if somebody listens to this hot ass garbage right now, it's not gonna give me credibility for anybody to listen to me later. So I said, I'm gonna keep this as a hobby. I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do. And then when I get to around 20, 21, where I'm actually knowing what I'm doing and I'm writing some good shit, I'll put out the music, right? Yeah. But I was actually forced back into music because I was playing football and I went to college, then I went semi-pro, right? And then I got my third concussion. The doctor told me, hey, I can clear you to play in a couple months, but I can't promise you're gonna start remembering shit past the age of 50. So I hung it up. And when something that's so important in your life, where it's your everything, wakes you up out of bed, and it's all stripped away and taken away from you, you have to replace that void in your heart, right? And I remember that day, man. Like, I'm looking at the corner of my room, and it's like my studio desk started glowing, right? I was so upset. And I completely just moved towards music,
bro. Yeah.
And I went full blown. Wow. And I'm so glad I did because I've never loved anything more than music in my life. So
I relate
At least
to
you had
that
the
too.
the balls to say like, "Yo, I suck." Like a lot of people will be like, "I'm the greatest," and then they never have room for improvement.
that's another thing I don't understand, right?
Not you.
Like the thing I don't understand about that is like, do you guys not have fucking ears? I hear a lot of the shit people put out today, and I'm like, my ears work the same as your ears.
Yeah.
If I hear a cow go moo, I'm guessing you heard fucking moo, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, people are putting out some hot ass garbage, and I'm like, how the fuck?
I feel like it's hard to be objective listening to your own
Right.
own
But
self.
you have a sense, like you said, at a pretty young age, you had a sense of what's going to be good or not.
Yeah, what's sounding good and what's trash.
Even at the expense of saying like my stuff sucks. Too.
Yeah, it did at that age.
Everyone sucks at.
Yeah, my first album was doo-doo.
Yeah, but you grow.
Right.
You learn.
Right.
And I got to a point, I released my first song, where I really felt like, I was like, hey, the engineering's there, the lyrics are there. It was really good. And it blew up on SoundCloud. That's how I kind of got my start, right? But we also got to remember, I've been releasing music for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
Still underrated.
Still underrated. So it was, first album was underrated, then it was still underrated. So like, I always felt that. And what's crazy now is with the song blowing up and me getting recognition.
How's it feel?
It's, man, dude, I don't know yet. Like,
You got some
I mean,
groupies?
I told Talal, same thing with Talal. Like, it's overnight success, 10 years in the making.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
That's
right?
how you feel. Yeah. I
And
think-
it's just like, I don't know what to expect from it. I've always gotten love throughout my career, right? Like, more love. I've sold out a couple shows, 300, 400, 500 people, yeah. But it wasn't really nothing. It's nothing like it is today, right? So one of the number one messages I get is, hey, I heard you through Sound of War. Oh my God, I just listened to your whole catalog. You're now my favorite artist, right?
yeah.
So this is another
Important
thing.
to have a catalog.
Yeah. This is another thing I brought up with Abe, the owner of BeatStars, right?
yeah,
in our
Abe.
last podcast, is that people get so down on themselves. And they release all this music growing up, and they don't get the love they deserve, and they think, oh, I suck, people aren't vibing with me, but no, it's, man, you just haven't got that attention yet, right?
Yeah.
So catalogs are very important. Russ,
Right. Oh yeah.
man, Russ released fucking 100-some damn songs before he
catalog.
popped off. And now people are still blasting those old songs to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was very tough for me at first. I went through a lot of bad situations in Los Angeles when I lived here for 5 years. I felt like used. I was with some labels just working, but I was just grunt work, man. They took advantage of me. And long story short, man, after 5 years of living in LA trying to support myself, I went broke, man. I'll tell them, I don't give a shit. I went broke trying to survive while people were taking advantage of me. And I packed up my car with nothing left and I drove back home to Texas, right? And, you know, they're sitting there laughing at me. And I'm not in the business of mentioning names, but they know who they are.
What does it start with?
So, no, I ain't gonna get that.
No,
so
just kidding.
at the end of the day, when I had left and I was so low, I actually went and got my real estate license.
Wow.
Because I was like, you know what? It's over. I fell and I can't get back up, right? And I gave it up.
Wow.
And people didn't know that. I never sounded like I announced it. I gave up. I was just like, screw it, man. I got to just go move forward with my life.
It's not something you will proudly proclaim.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just very down, and you know, I felt like that whole group like laughed at me, laughed my way out the door, and you know, at the end of the day, I dug myself out of the dirt they try to bury me in, and right now, in terms of like what's next in my career,
I'm gonna ask you that.
yeah, I have 100 songs in my vault that I never released. I said if I make it, which one day I hope to God I will, I'm gonna release these songs, right? And because I knew how good they were, right? And it used to be at first like, oh, I'm gonna get these people back who slept on me and took advantage of me,
Right.
and I got something to prove, right?
Yeah.
So now it's just like, nah, man, I'm gonna put my foot on their necks regardless. I got to prove something to myself right now.
Me.
I got what I needed. I got the traction, right?
Right.
And now it's just like, I'm gonna make y'all fucking remember me every day. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a vengeance, but it's more of a vengeance within myself.
Right.
It's like, man, that shit you went through. You're 29 years old now. Like, it's my time now.
That's crazy.
You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
So
You're talking about people like, you know, hating on it or like using you. Who are some people that you think that you respect that didn't use you and showed you like love before you got to this point? Because I'm sure now everyone's showing you love.
yeah, everybody's showing me love, man. And I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, going back on that, like, I released this song for y'all. You know what I mean? I didn't have an intention to blow. I didn't even think it was gonna blow up. 10 years of making music, this is what's gonna pop me, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I did sit with a lot of artists kind of growing up, not growing up, in the past 5 years in LA. I was at a lot of different parties. I was invited all over the scenes. There was a few artists that, man, I had some conversations with that I really respect. Chris Brown being one of them. One of the sweetest guys, of, you know, humble people I've ever met. I'm serious. And Party Next Door, and there's some other people. Belly I talked to for a while. We at a party. I forgot, it was for Trap University. I had talked to him, and there was Muhammad Ramadan. There was a lot of good people, you know, around me, and that seen my talent and loved me. But you know, there's only
Keep going until a certain point.
yeah. Nav, man. There's a crazy story on Nav. We were at a party at Triller, the app Triller.
Yeah.
Triller threw a mansion party somewhere in Hollywood. And I swear, man, it was me and Nav sitting around a bonfire at the upper deck of the mansion. And we had a heart-to-heart for like a whole 45 minutes. Nav is somebody whose words I kept with me for a very long time. Man, what he talked. I don't want to talk about personal shit that he told me. You know what I mean? But
What was the sentiment?
the sentiment was, you'll get there. You know what I mean? And this is what it's gonna look like when you get there. And this is what you gotta avoid when you get there. And this is what you gotta do when you get there.
Give you that direction.
Yeah. And I appreciated and respected him for that so much, because to this day his words run through my head.
Shout out now.
Yeah, big time.
Putting Brown Boys on the map.
Yeah, 100%. So there were some good people in my corner for sure.
Cool.
Look, man, I can relate to a lot of what you just said, bro. Like, I feel like we have a very similar story from like different points of the globe coming at it. Like, you know, growing up in Amman, kind of the same thing, man. And especially like at that point, I had to like leave. For me, it was football, like soccer. And yeah, you know, you have that dream, like one day this is what I'm gonna do, right? But you have music in your heart too. So I definitely went through that moment too, where I had to like in college give that up and then put everything into music. And it's all meant to be, right? It happens how it's supposed to happen. I was one of those people, man. I put out a song too early, and it didn't hit, you know. And I had made a whole album, and then this was one song where I tried singing on the chorus. Yeah, and like just now, I'm starting to be all right at singing.
You grow into it.
I've been learning and taking vocal lessons and shit like that. So now I can sing a little bit, but at the time I couldn't. Yeah, but I thought it's
auto-tune, dog.
Right? Yeah,
make you sound like fucking Celine Dion in this bitch, dog. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, so I put that song.
My heart
out.
will go on.
Exactly. And I was discouraged for a long time. I was like, damn, bro, like motherfuckers were trolling me. I was getting like hate in the comments from back home, and that shit discouraged me. And I stepped away for a minute. But yeah, man, to be in a place now to where we're doing what we're doing in a big way. You know, get to meet someone like fucking Disaster, who I grew up watching.
In the building, dog.
Calls me, sends me his number. He's like, "Hey, we got to do a cypher. Only people of our stature." I'm like, "Shit." Man.
That was one of the moments I had too, like one of those like full circle moments, because you know, we all watched Disaster's fucking battle rap. You know what I mean? And he messaged me on IG. He's like, "Get my number," like you know what I mean? We talked for like an hour on the phone, some shit like that, and then I got off the phone. Real, actually.
He's a real motherfucker.
And it was one of those full circle moments. Like, I got off the phone with him and I just sat in my bed and I was like, I just got off the phone fucking Disaster.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what he's saying, bro. That's what he's saying. Real talk, bro. You a legend. You a legend, man. And he's genuine.
Yeah,
Natural disaster. No, it's
real shit,
genuine.
Bro. Genuine.
You have any more questions? Because I'm sure you had some written down.
I know we want to get you. We want to ship you out to the next show. I want to know, what are you doing like after this?
Yeah, so I'm going straight to the protest right now. I'm going to shoot the video for Shamal Yamin that responds to those. Yeah, we're headed to it right now. No, it's closer to like Beverly Hills, Holmby Park,
because Joe Biden's in town.
I had to mention something from that.
So song, we're gonna go slide out there. We're gonna shoot the video also for Shamal Yamin. That's in a response to those Israeli artists.
Oh that one fucking whack track.
Yeah. Somebody could just get me their actual profile, because I was just thinking about.
They went private after. Oh, so by the way,
I just want to know like exactly who they are, so I could like tailor some actual shit to.
Bunch of nobodies.
So yeah, what was?
I just want to hurt
for people that don't know.
So basically, these.
What did they say?
These Israeli artists, Stilla and Ness, they basically put out a song. Basically, long story short, calling us sons of whores, calling for our genocide, kill them all. Let's write our names on bombs their names on bombs as we drop it.
Shit, bro.
Stupid shit, right? And here's what's crazy, Disaster. You ready for this? It went #1 on Apple in Israel. How did they allow that? But we're censored on everything we say. They allowed it to go #1
but it's
on the Apple charts.
We can't even talk about getting fucking destroyed while we're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
But they could talk about destroying us while we're getting destroyed.
Yeah, #1, Apple. What?
Well, but it's an echo chamber, right? It only went there. And
exactly. And that's why I said.
They're last everywhere else.
Exactly. That's why I said what I said in the song. I said, congrats, you're #1 in Israel and last everywhere else forever. Forever. Yeah. Congrats, you're going to get all the free knockoff hummus in Israel forever for free. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So we responded, and it absolutely fucking blew back up right in their faces. So check this out.
Just like
he was Stilla, I think. He was a public profile, right? When I dropped that track, okay, it had 500,000 on just IG, on the reel on IG in one day. 500,000 views. His last post was like promoting the song that they put out. It had about 1,000 comments. I looked back at his profile the next day. There was 4,000 comments and there was 3,000 of my fans shredding him to shit. He went private. He went private to IG. And it's not over now. We're going to go shoot the video. And we got all the reporters in line waiting for it. Sean King's doing a story on it.
Sean King was doing the story?
Yeah.
Oh, call him.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the hardest line of that whole entire
Let's see if we can
track.
get Sean King on the line.
How did that tell us while it's ringing? Tell us, how did that come about? Like,
Me and Sean King?
Yeah.
So he, I don't know if it was I sent him my song a long time ago when it first started, or he reached out.
Ask him.
Yeah. Maybe we'll FaceTime him. But yeah, he's like, I love what you're doing. I love the music. He started using it in a bunch of his posts, and he was like, let's collab posts, man. I want to show this to the world. So
That's love.
next thing I knew, I woke up and he posted my whole music video and collabed.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it had 2 million views.
Man.
And I was just like, damn, and the shit really blew up.
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
And now he's getting ready to do that same thing with this next one we're about to do.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can get Sean King on the line.
Show him to this.
See if he can say a few nice words.
Nah, listen, man. He's been putting us on the map.
Shout out Habibi
Yeah, he
House.
has.
He's not even Palestinian. Yeah, man. That's love, for real, for real.
Like, man, I'm in the middle of a post, bro. What the hell?
He's unavailable. Okay, the guy's all over the place. Okay,
But
You don't know Sean King.
he only posts
FaceTiming
me
his,
10 times.
I'm
brother.
gonna one up you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call Khalid Beydoun. No,
Yeah. I raise you a Sean.
But yeah, the hardest line of that whole track was Ness. I'm gonna put him in a blender, call him Nesquik.
Call him Nesquik.
Oh, because his name is Ness?
No, the girl's name is Ness.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
Stilla. I went after Stilla in the first few bars, whatever it was. Then I finished it off with Ness.
Yeah.
But
Hey, man, nobody checking for those whack ass.
That's what I'm saying, like-
man.
here's what I could say to them if they're ever listening, which I'm sure they'll look into it. As artists, isn't the goal to be globally loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the goal? To be global and everybody know your name and
I mean,
mean,
there's
it's-
people like Drake and there's people like 6ix9ine.
right?
But it's antithetical to art
There's
itself.
people that people love to
It
hate.
is.
It's not art if you go out calling for the fucking death of innocent people, bro. Like,
You're gonna
that's
be
not
remembered
art.
for that for the rest of your life.
They
Even when I responded to them, I wasn't calling for deaths of anybody. I was just ripping them to shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
So, it's just I don't know.
Because
man.
yeah, you know, you can't. You could, like.
I just think
you
that's
didn't have
a-
to. You didn't stoop down to their level. And,
Yeah, you
and,
don't
like,
stoop down to little. I mean, I said some shit about them. I don't give
Yeah.
a damn.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna talk about your people and say that y'all deserve to die and let's write
Honestly,
bombs. And,
See,
Honestly-
that's the difference. You know, he's saying that they're saying
Yeah.
that about your people, and you're like, I don't hate those other people. I hate you specifically.
Yeah,
And it's
specifically.
Very, you know,
I think for that song to have blown up and it's talking about like writing names on bombs and killing us and all that shit,
Yeah.
that's just a reflection of that culture.
Exactly. Thank you guys for representing
Thank you
your
for
culture
saying
the way
it loud
you do.
and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
for admitting it. And for-
oh, like you know, the truth will come out.
Yeah.
You saw the pepper spray video? Someone got pepper sprayed.
Oh, the one you put out,
Yeah.
dude. I was laughing. So I was like, "What the hell just
It
happened?"
was so perfect.
You
He's
were
like,
right in
I
the
just
scene.
want peace, and then they like start fighting. And he like pepper sprays the girl. I'm like, did you see that?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You were. That was what got me. You were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Because that's
Dude,
what they
it
do.
was so
That's what they
funny.
do. It's like at face value, they say what people want to hear, and then
Sean King just said in a meeting, no problem. Was on a podcast. Just wanted to get you
EB House.
to say a few words to the
Habibis. Hey,
masses.
before y'all leave, can we get a word from the OG right here? Just slide him the mic. Just slide him the mic. Just slide the mic over.
We have a whole nother episode with Smoke and Joe.
Oh, we got Smoking Joe.
Got the
Uncle,
real-
I'm Mo Joe in the building.
Real legend in the building.
Hizzy.
Move the chair.
Originator in the scene. Man, you were telling us some crazy stories when you first.
Guys, I feel so blessed to see this generation blossoming as I always wished it to be. I mean, that was all my hope, you know. My son growing up didn't recognize the Arabic culture. And when I just realized, man, I had to fuse Arabic and English music together to bring back our own children to our culture. And seeing this rejuvenation and how proud the kids are being Arabs again. Oh, man, it's what
Yes,
my
sir.
dream has
Yes,
been
sir.
is coming true.
Amazing,
And
man.
it's really sad that it's kind of even flourishing more at this most heated moment.
Right.
I mean, a grown man like me, man, with tears in his eyes when I watch some of these clips. And then at the same time, and I'm so proud of you guys and the mission that you guys are doing. I mean, half tears, half smiles, man, in my life right now with what's going on. But just knowing that we have the ability to fight back and our word is being heard.
Right.
Thank God, bro. It's finally Q-tips popped out into everybody's ear and they're listening to us.
Yeah, man. Now, listen, man, we appreciate people like yourself who paved the way for us to be able to do what we do, you know? You in the industry working with, you know, all the you basically started the whole trend of making Arabic music and part of hip-hop. One of the originators of that.
There's been a few people with me that really walked the walk. You know, there's Ghazi with Empire, who really established, you know,
shout out Ghazi.
A really groundbreaking outlet for a lot of artists. And then you got Abe, you know, with BeatStars, who also a great friend of mine.
Absolutely.
We collaborated back in the day and, you know, put a platform for producers where producers never really had a voice.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to pave the way as an Arab American and just being who we are and reflecting our hummus and our hookah and our whole chic lifestyle. I wasn't a substance rapper. You know, people kind of like, you know, Joe, what are you doing? You're talking about women. You're talking about weed. You're cursing in the music. This is not what we do. And I'm like, man, listen to your son's
playlist.
Music, and tell him to change and I'll change. But that's where he's going, bro. And I got to gravitate where our kids are going and kind of integrate some of our.
You went after a target audience.
Yeah. And then I did that song, Dawid was, you know, an old school Ziad Rahbani song. And I brought it back to, you know, smoking weed and, you know, this and that and passing, you know, the blunt around as Arabs. And it just kind of blew up. And we just kind of, you know, we're here now. And you guys today are our new voice. And just to go ahead and just like I said, I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you, man.
Just glad where our destination is going.
Man. I'm happy that you got to see it manifest with you, that vision that you had between you, Ghazi, you know, Masari, like you said, Abe. Like, I'm glad that we're able to carry the baton forward and keep doing, you know, this for our people, man.
100%. Like I said.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, before you leave, man, can we run that? Should we run that open verse for y'all?
Oh, you got the beat?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Run that open verse, dog.
I'm gonna pull it up on your.
I'm not rapping though. That's you.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna play the open verse, and then your chorus is gonna play. So
there you go.
Feel free to chime in if you need to.
Yeah, that's a good soundbite.
It'll be a better audio quality, at least from the previous one. But then we're gonna, I mean, with your blessing, we could possibly pass by and pass it in, right?
Yeah. We'll hang out.
Yeah.
The facts that they cover, 'cause my people out here crying, they dying or they suffer. And just notice for my
Tyler in the motherfucking building. What happened? Wi-Fi.
The kahraba, it went out.
news telling lies, check the facts that they cover. 'Cause my people out here crying or they dying or they suffer. And just notice for my people up in Gaza and Ramallah and it's free Palestine until it's backwards, motherfucker.
We gon' take the promised territory back from the oppressors. We employing every measure. We ain't letting up the pressure. Every rocket that you send sends another soul to heaven, sends you further into hell. Your damnation is forever. Set us free. Palestine to Palestine is free. 'Cause Palestine is and Palestine is me. It's a universal struggle for the freedom that we fight. They might cut the electricity, but never dim my light. 'Cause
that everyone knows it's time to take Palestine back this time.
yes, sir.
That's hard. I love it, boys.
Hell yeah, man. Good shit.
Wrap it up.
Good shit. Yes, sir.
The official remix.
Call me when y'all headed to the protest.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Disaster, you better be pulling up.
Thank you for coming in.
Of course, man. Great. There's gonna be a lot of good out of that.
Yeah, you know.
Hopefully I'll see you in a second.
No, man, I'll watch you guys, man.
We'll call you guys.
I'm gonna try.